had forgotten all about. But it was encouraging to me to know that the things that I was saying had an effect on other people. But then it goes back to, what if I had quit? What if I had stopped? So I said it before that on this platform that the things that you do, the things that the positive things that you do are not necessarily about you. Like, you're getting the social proof, you're getting you're building your story, but it's not necessarily about you. It's about you being able to tell other people about what you did or what God did for you to inspire them to move. Because a lot of people are stuck for multiple different reasons. For friend groups that they're in, they lack confidence, but they just need that one little spark that's going to get them moving in the right direction so they can change their family tree. Hey, family. This is Che Willis coming back with another episode of Wealth is a Journey podcast. Guys, this is episode 54. We are moving, as always, being consistent and then just putting out good information. And before we get started, as always, I just like to thank all the return listeners. And if you are new to this podcast, thank you for joining us. On this podcast, we talk about faith, we talk about family, and we talk about finances, and all things that are just going to make you a better person on your way to the M's. Because as always, we are getting to these M's. So again, thank you so much for coming back. And if you're a first-time listener or watcher of this podcast, thank you again. So this week, we are going to talk about what have you done? And this is more so for my return listeners and watchers, but this will apply to new listeners and watchers as well. I do budgeting classes. I do investment calls as well for a lot of different people. I've also been doing this podcast for over a year now. And my question to you is, what have you done? If you've been watching this podcast for the year or 6 months or 3 months, what have you done to change your situation? On this podcast, and I'm going to kind of toot my own horn for a little bit. On this podcast, we give out good information about investing, about budgeting, about mindset, about fatherhood, about family, being a better husband, being a better wife, all the things. But my question is, what have you done with that information? A lot of times we pray for different things, for God to change our situation, to do different things for us. But I believe one thing in the Bible, many things in the Bible, but this one thing specifically, that faith without works is dead. If you just wish that there's going to be a magic wand waved over your situation and things are just going to change automatically, it really doesn't work like that. Now, I'm going to kind of take it back to college, or getting into adulthood. You might have a little too much to drink, or whatever you're indulging in at that time. You might have a little bit too much, and then you're laying on the floor, or you're sitting in the chair, or whatever, the room's spinning, and you're like, "Oh my God, I'll never do this again. I'll never drink like this again. If you just get me through this situation, please help me." And then you get through the situation and then you go right back to indulging in those things that got you in a situation that you were praying for the first time. So I'm sure that most of us can relate to this because we've all been, for the most part, been in those situations. So if God has gotten you out of a situation, but you don't correct the behaviors, chances are you're going to go right back into doing what got you into that situation in the first place. So again, my question to you is, what have you done with the information to get you on a better financial journey or to change a situation for your family? I had the opportunity a few weeks ago to speak to my entrepreneurship group. This is time number 4 that I got the opportunity to, I'll say, bless the stage and give information and give a talk. And I believe that the reason I was able to bless the stage for the 4th time, which I'm super honored, super humble about uh, being able to do, the reason is because I believe that I'm an action taker. So people follow people who have done something and who were consistent in the thing and have social proof of what they've done. So I'm always screaming to the mountaintops about finance. I'm always screaming to from the mountaintops about budgeting, investing, mindset, all the things. And the reason I'm screaming from the mountaintops about it is because I know what it has done for my life. So therefore, as I talk about it, there's a conviction there. But there's a conviction there for me because of my why. Although me growing up as a child was not like a dire situation or anything like that, I always wanted more just based on what I saw when I went to school, right? And I mentioned that in podcast episodes before. I always wanted more, but I didn't necessarily know how to go about getting more, but I knew that if I worked hard, that it would eventually happen. Now, how it would happen, I don't know, but I just knew to work hard. So that was step number 1 for me. And then when I got introduced to church and relationship with God, God gave me different ideas um, as I prayed more to take action to get where I wanted to go. Then I got introduced to budgeting. And then as I got introduced to budgeting, I got introduced to doing it in a more efficient way. And then now not just doing budgeting, but now lining up targets to aim at and hit. And as I start hitting those targets, me living the way that I saw growing up became more of a reality. Meaning when I went to school and I saw a lot of um the people who had the things that I wanted. So I'm saying all that to say that what you want and the things that you want are not just going to happen because you wish that they're going to happen. You have to take a step and be consistent and do the thing well and just continue to do it over and over and over again until it becomes second nature. And then you're going to start lining up and knocking down wins. But you have to have a target. So my question to you is, what is your why? And if you are in the camp of, I'm just going to watch the show and I'm going to watch other people win, then life is going to pass you by. And if your previous why was, I didn't like the way that I grew up and I just didn't like it, but you're not doing anything about it, then chances are you're probably going to repeat those patterns that you saw growing up because you didn't do anything about it. And we have to get off the sidelines and we have to start doing things. So back to my talk that I did for the entrepreneurship group a couple weeks ago. It went really well. Got a little preachy because I got real passionate about God and what God has done for me in my life. But again, the reason that I believe that I was there is because I had social proof of what I've done. And I'm super passionate about how God has blessed me and how I just took a step. My wife and I, we took a step. And although we grew up with humble beginnings, we are now in a paid for house that's 4,300 square feet. We have a pool in our backyard that we paid for along the way of paying our house off. Paid for cars along the way of paying this house off. Also, our kids' college, probably in the next month or so, is going to be fully funded, and he will not know what student loans are unless he goes to grad school and just blows the budget. But the thing about it is that we have to get off the sideline and watching other people win and thinking that that life is for them, which brings me back to my dislike of social media. And it's not just social media, it's like what social media does. In my opinion, one of the things of social media, it allows people to just other people, watch other people win. Um, and I think if you're in if you pay to be in a group, or you pay for some type of education, or you pay for, say, like a budgeting class with me, or you pay for something that's going to help your life, or you're watching something like this podcast that's going to help your life, you're just watching the show and you do nothing about it because you just enjoy getting information, but you're doing nothing about it. Like you're not taking action. So my thought for you would be, if you're that person, because I was that person maybe 2 years ago. I joined my entrepreneurship group and I was just watching the show, like people coming up to the stage and talking. I had opportunities to say something so people knew who I was, but I never took advantage of the opportunity. And because I didn't take advantage of the opportunity at the time, I almost quit. But as I'm talking now, and I think about, if I actually did quit, how many lives um, that I wouldn't have been able to impact based on the message of hope, of budgeting, of investing, and the things that it has done for me and my wife, and how it changed our family tree. So after I did the talk a few weeks ago that I was just talking about, there were so many people who came on afterwards and just gave a testimonial of words of encouragement for me, of words of encouragement that I gave to them, and conversations that we had, and things that I don't
The
let
mute
them.
button. Okay, all right. The mute button almost won. What's going on, my brother? What's
What's
going on?
good?
What's going on, man? Keep doing what you're doing, man. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely, bro.
You doing this and you asking that question, what have you done since the last time we spoke? What have you done since the last time you were even on? Help me realize that what I'm going through right now are some growing pains, man. I've been going through some stuff. Yeah, man. And I'm like, why do I feel this way? What are these emotions? Da, da, da. And I say that because of everything I just jotted down. So one, I got a spreadsheet created, right? Two, I started to track every dollar. Yes, yes. So I'm tracking every dollar. Three, I stopped using 90% of my credit cards, bro. Stop. Like, yeah,
That's
yeah,
good.
yeah. Ooh, where we at? Four. I'm actually falling in love with numbers again. Like I used to be, again, dance is math and all that stuff like that. But on a spreadsheet and actually looking at it and actually tracking it and actually seeing where everything is going, it's like it's another way of choreography and it's another dance that I'm doing now. So I love it.
Sir. Yes,
So I love
sir.
it. I'm figuring out the cycle of payment. So when I say that, it's like I'm selling high ticket. But the stuff that I do, especially like the schools and nonprofits, a lot of it is net 30 and net 60 accounts. So this is where me trying to pay something on a regular cycle of like every week or every 2 weeks, it's iffy and funny because that's not how the money comes in.
Okay.
The money comes in, either 30 days later or 60 days later or in half. And so I have to figure these things out. Um, so that's where I'm at with that. And I haven't had a 9 to 5 since like '07. So that is like something I tried to write a resume and I'm like, maybe I need to go get a 9 to 5. And I don't even know what that is no more. So so I'm just pushing harder with the business and um, created a budget by telling my money where to go because that's the sexy part of it. You tell your money where to go, right? And bring back some more money, babies. Oh, this one, bro. I cut back on traveling back home. I haven't been home since September. I usually go like every 3 months. And that's a majority of where my splurging happens because I love being back home. And that's in Honduras and the freedom and all of that stuff. Um, and then I started testing more offers. I know there's a lot of stuff that I know. Like I only, throw out the schools, nonprofits, and youth organizations here. But there's a whole lot of stuff that I know and I learned over the years that I can do. Um, and so I've been throwing that out there, testing that and everything like that. We had a conversation. Um, the last thing, my why, I need my mental financial freedom back. I had it before. I know what it feels like. I know what it feels like to just have money sitting there that you don't even need to touch because everything is falling in, you're paying everything in cash if you need to. And then it's just extra money sitting there. And, there's no debt and stuff like that. So that was mentally freeing for me. And that's why I'm doing this again. Mental financial freedom.
That's good.
Brother, bless you and thank you.
Oh, I'm so happy for you, fam. And to the group, uh, once you have your emergency fund in place, and that money's just sitting there, and that will be your 3 to 6 months of expenses, and that's sitting. Anything over top of that is like icing on the cake. So you could take that icing and throw it out into the market or wherever you want to do to invest it and bring you back some more money, babies. I'd forgotten all about. But it was encouraging to me to know that the things that I was saying had an effect on other people. But then it goes back to what if I had quit? What if I had stopped? So I said it before that on this platform that the things that you do, the things that the positive things that you do are not necessarily about you. Like you're getting the social proof, you're getting you're building your story, but it's not necessarily about you. It's about you being able to tell other people about what you did or what God did for you to inspire them to move. Because a lot of people are stuck for multiple different reasons. For friend groups that they're in, they lack confidence, but they just need that one little spark that's going to get them moving in the right direction so they can change their family tree. So my message today is if you are just watching the show, just being on social media, or if you're in a group and you're just sitting in the background, just watching the show, just doing nothing, just consuming information, I would say get off the sideline and just start implementing just a little bit. It doesn't have to be a lot. You don't have to do all at one time. Just take small steps towards your goal. So in my case, if you are not good with finances and your finances are all over the place and you don't know where to turn, I would start with writing out all of your expenses and then writing out what your income is. And that's a start. And then you can start finding out or figuring out if your expenses are out of control, where you can cut, where you can shave. And before you know it, you've done a budget. because all you're doing is you're just telling your money where to go. And then once you do that and you get good at that and you start paying down your debts, or even if you don't have any debts, great. But if you do have debts and you start paying those things down and you knock them off, you'll have a whole bunch of extra money to have that money make you more money. Are you tired of living paycheck to paycheck? Are you tired of being stressed out over money? Are you tired of using credit cards as your emergency fund, bearing you deeper and deeper in debt? If the answer to any of these questions is yes, I'm here to help. My name is Che Willis, and I help families living paycheck to paycheck live the life that they want to live through budgeting and investing. And I understand that the word budgeting is scary. I get that. I'm here to take the fear out of that word. All we're doing is just telling our money where to go. That's it. We're lowering our expenses so then we can use that money to march out into the marketplace to bring us back some more money babies. That's all we're doing. So if you are fearful of budgeting and you need help, I have the answer. Book a call at wealthisajourney.com. Again, wealthisajourney.com, so we can get you on the road to living the life that you want to live starting today. Again, wealthisajourney.com. I look forward to talking to you. And that's the impact that we're talking about as far as changing your family tree, because again, a lot of us were never taught how to budget, and we understand that. But what if you were the person who was that spark for your family to not repeat what you saw growing up or what your parents saw growing up? Think about that. That's impact right there. So if you're on the sideline, if you're just watching the show, I would encourage you, not for you, but for those who are around you, for your family, if you're the leader of your household, for them, for your nieces and nephews, for people who look up to you that you may not even know are watching you, because people are watching. So you can be that spark, and it doesn't take, like, if you think of a fire, like a house fire, a lot of those fires start from a spark, and then it catches, and then the whole thing goes up. But this is going to be a good situation. It's going to be a good scenario. Maybe a bad analogy, but you understand what I'm saying. So this podcast episode is more so of a call to action to stop being a consumer of information and start being an action taker. Because you not taking action could be holding other people back from living their best life. And that's a fact. Because, and the reason I say that is because of the talk that I gave on a few weeks ago on my entrepreneurship call. Let me know that the message, although I feel like sometimes it's like, are people listening? Do they care? That talk and the feedback that I received let me know that I have to keep going, because this message of hope, of financial freedom, of being that change agent, it's taken effect. It's taken a hold of other people's lives, and it's getting them on the right path. So that's all I got today, man. I was really just excited about being able to speak, because again, 2024, that's what we're doing. We're living in the uncomfortable zone, and we're going to stay there. And every opportunity that I get to spread this message, I'm going to do it, because we got work to do, man. We got work to do. And it's no fun to win alone. Like, the Willis family, we're going to win. That's just what it is. but it's no fun to win alone. So as many people as you can just let them know for free, give them the information so they can start winning as well. But you can't start winning if you're sitting on the sideline taking absolutely no action. We got to act. So you got your marching orders. It's time to act. It's time to go. Let's go get it. If you need help, ask for it. You not knowing is one thing. If you not knowing that you have an issue is one thing, but if you have an issue and you do nothing about it, that's a problem. So let's act, let's go. Wealth is a journey. Thank you so much for tuning in. We will see you next week.